Browns did sign a veteran running back. Guy coming off an injury, Nyheim Hines, one-year deal worth up to $3.5 million. Was a non-football related injury, missed all of last year. Tore his LCL and ACL rather, jet ski accident. So again, Hines a guy that played in Buffalo, so Ken Dorsey will have some familiarity with him. Played with the Colts. Bubba Ventrone has some familiarity with him.
Well, I think the thing you look here is probably returnability is probably the first thing that kind of stands out to you. And we had a big debut with the Buffalo Bills, taking a kickoff to the house. Certainly, had time, with Bubba Ventrone in Indianapolis. This is also a guy at one time, I think his rookie year, caught 63, 64 passes in the Indianapolis Colts offense. So, again, I thought the Browns would probably be a little bit bigger player in the running back market. I don't know they have any idea yet on Nick Chubb, and probably don't. I think it's maybe more of an indictment on what they believe maybe Jerome Ford is capable of. But you look at it, and with Jerome, and obviously now with Hines, these are two guys that are very capable to contribute out of the backfield as receivers, which is something that's not always been the case. For Nick Chubb, he's good. It was not a great or ever considered a plus receiver out of the backfield. So maybe something that you're starting to see from the Browns, and probably a little vision of maybe, what this Ken Dorsey, Kevin Stefanski union of an offense is going to be. So certainly, it always works this way in the NFL. You usually end up going places, obviously, where you have friends, you have family, folks that you've worked with before. They're always trying to find a way to get guys in that they're familiar with. So, could be an interesting move. I still think the Browns are going to be, players in the running back market. In the draft is where I guess it's going to go now, because all these running backs pretty much went off the board and went off quickly, which doesn't necessarily surprise me either, though, because the Browns always seem to want to zag where everybody else is zigging. So if everybody else went heavy on free agent running backs, makes me think the Browns probably have a guy or two targeted within the draft.
All right, let's head to the voicemail of Truth and Reason. Obviously, a lot of people want to talk about some of the additions.
Hey, everyone. Now that we have Jerry Jeudy as our number 2 receiver, a great move by AB at a great price, I might add, who in free agency or in the draft are prospects that can return punts and or kickoffs that the Browns should consider, since I believe last year's return man, Prochet, is a free agent? And can you explain the new kickoff rule being talked about, which might make having a good kickoff returner a key piece for the team? Thanks for the input. Go Browns.
All right, Jeff, let's take a look at this tweet, and then I'm going to let you kind of explain that. You mentioned Hines. So Nyheim Hines missed the entire 2023 season. As I mentioned, he tore his ACL, LCL in a jet ski accident. But you mentioned the receiving back, which is very true. Also, 2022 averaged 9.8 yards per punt return, 29.2 per kick return, and had the 2 kick returns for touchdown. So the short answer is Hines probably is a guy that they're going to look at as a returner. And then the kickoff rule. I asked you about this earlier, so...
Well, the plan is to try to still keep basically kickoff return part of the game. Because the way it is now, obviously, you just have the kickers airing the ball out of the back of the end zone. But the thing is you're going to try to do it on a shorter, condensed field. Basically, you don't want guys running 23 miles an hour into each other full speed. I mean, it's going to create a lot of injuries. Also, the blocking is going to be a little bit more defined as far as, what guy you have. So you're not going to have any questions of, somebody taking a shot from somebody full speed that they did not see. It's going to be interesting. Me personally, I think it was something they probably should have just left alone. Maybe you got once a game where one return man decided to gamble, because now these kickers are just absolutely destroying the ball out of the back of the end zone. But I mean, you have a bunch of special teams coaches, and they all sit around and talk, and they're probably not too thrilled that kickoff return is not really part of the game anymore. I mean, they understand player safety, but it doesn't mean these guys aren't going to get together, put their heads together, because at the end of the day, it does kind of affect their job a little bit if one aspect of their job is just basically being almost eliminated, so to speak. But you have guys that are just trying to find a way to keep that part still in the game. There's still some other things that are, seem to make no sense. Like you have to declare that you were going to do an onside kick. I mean, it seems to make no sense whatsoever. I mean, is it like playing Texas Hold'em and saying I have to declare I have a pair of aces in the hole? I mean, some of this stuff I think they've gone too far into. But look, especially special teams folks, special teams is very important, and they would like every aspect of special teams to still be a part of the game, and they're just trying to find a way to hopefully maybe get kick return and teams to try to actually return kicks more often.